The International Space Station orbits Earth several times a day, running experiments designed to help us better understand space. A small research centre in Limerick is playing its part on a project that could have benefits for space travel in the future and also back here on Earth. Gary Stutey is a principal investigator at the Kennedy Space Centre and is currently a Marie Curie Research Fellow at Limerick Institute of Technology.
Gary, when I think of sending things into space, I think of astronauts and satellites and new technologies, but you're working on a very different project.
Yes, we're going to grow plants in space. It's absolutely critical for long-duration space missions. Plants will purify the atmosphere through photosynthesis, they'll purify water, and they will produce food. The plant we're looking to is related to the clovers, and so these clovers are an important feed crop or a forage, and we hope to understand how we can grow them better.
The priority for the researchers at the Controlled Environment Laboratory for Life Science, or CELS unit, is to properly replicate the microgravity environment on board the spacecraft. And for that, they have 4 state-of-the-art growth chambers.
Let's put on our glasses.
Okay. Cool. So what are we seeing here, Gary?
Well, these are experiments to figure out how we're going to grow these plants in space. These are clinostats, and what they do is overwhelm the plant with gravity response. See how the roots are coming up? They're going all different directions.
Poor little confused plants.
They are very confused, and that's why we need to confuse them, because they don't know which way is up. So what I have got to do is learn how we plant them so we can direct them, which way is up, which way is down, where the roots are going to be. We need to know that before we go into space.
It's not actually the plants, but a bacteria that you're focusing on.
Yes, there's a natural bacteria that is in the soils all around the world that will go into the roots of these plants and will fix nitrogen and give them nutrients. So that's what we're trying to understand, how we can improve that mutually beneficial relationship between plants and bacteria. I think most people don't understand bacteria at all. They want to kill them. And most bacteria are good for us. So we're trying to clear their name. The seeds from these plants right here are the ones that we're going to send to space.
And then is that bacteria you're focused on living in the plant?
Yes, they're on the roots of these plants. Those are what make these grow bigger and they grow faster. And if they actually look like this.
So this is the bacteria you're focusing on?
Yes, this is it. This is the daddy that makes it all happen.
One of NASA's long-term goals is to reproduce the Earth's complex ecosystem to establish life in space. Next year, plants from the Limerick project will travel to the space station aboard the Falcon 9 rocket launched from Cape Canaveral. LIT was one of only 8 international projects selected for inclusion on that trip.
I'm talking to Tony Gannon, Director of Research and Project Development at Space Florida. Tony, why was LIT chosen as part of the winning 8?
What I think LIT gained, or rather what made them stand out from the competition, was that the research is highly relevant. There was a general nod of approval. This is the kind of research we should be doing on board the International Space Station. We're talking about agricultural research, which has benefits for mankind, benefits for Ireland, and indeed has enormous commercial viability.
If you start looking to the stars, you understand what's happening in the absence of gravity, then you can come down to Earth and apply that to real-life problems. Things of climate change, you can look at food in drought-ridden areas. You're looking at famine, you're looking at stress, increased productivity. This will be the actual growth chamber. This is a prototype that we'll be launching. We'll have 8 plants, each up here on each of the sides. And they'll go into this growth chamber. There's going to be a video camera at this end of the box, and so we're going to be able to see how they're growing, what they look like.
So in a few months' time, a little bit of Ireland will actually be in space.
And not only will it be a piece of Ireland, it will be a piece of Ireland that grows.
In fact, this is the first time an Irish institution has led a life science experiment on the International Space Station.
I started the centre myself. I'm the principal investigator, and it was a dream child of mine in 2002, just even myself getting out there. And I went originally as Ireland's first astronaut, and unfortunately due to illness I wasn't able to continue in that vein. The fact that NASA asks us every year to send over graduates, we don't have to knock on doors. They say, when are you sending the next 2 to 3 students? We're ready for them. And to actually have that on our CV just means that we are well able to stand toe-to-toe with all the big universities across the US and across Europe and Ireland.
I think this is a feat that actually we don't really realise how important or how significant it is. I think that when a Falcon 9 rocket takes off late in the year, Dr. Studi and his team in LIT will be totally and utterly overjoyed knowing their research is flying there with research from all over the world, and they are on a level par with everybody else. It's a tremendous achievement. This is exciting, really exciting.
Space is like that final frontier, and as we as a species move from Earth to a different planet such as Mars, we're going to be taking plants with us. And those plants are going to keep us alive. They're going to purify our air. They're going to give us our food. I want to be a part of that. I want my thumbprint on these emissaries as we move from this planet to become a spacefaring species. This is real life turning into space. This is not science fiction. This is science reality.